Alright, hold on, hear me out. The fucking world is full of bullshit ass noise. The internet fucking sucks. Everybody knows this. How can you find truth to big concepts that maybe are controversial, that are politically charged, even if they shouldn't be? How can you find the truth? I found a way in my recovery process from childhood sexual abuse, alcoholism, and suicide. I found a really surefire way to figure out, you know, large orientations of truths, not concrete one sentences, but this is what I mean. If you go on Reddit or even on any social media app and you start looking through posts about certain topics, and I'm going to talk in this video about addictions specifically. So if you go on Reddit or you go on social media and start looking at addiction and find, people say addiction is this or how to get clean or whatever, causes of addiction, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about what the post is saying, but read the comments. Read the responses. Read everybody's response. And I want you to do this, because I do this all the time and it really works. It really helps find the truth in the noise. Read the comments and then look at the profiles of the people who make the comments. And if you know where I'm going already, don't leave, because I'm going to make an extrapolation off this, but look at the profiles and take an honest look at that person and ask yourself, why would it be that this specific person, based on their profile, would say this specific thing in response to this video or this post or whatever? And do that with a bunch of people, because what you'll begin to find is a certain character that responds to a certain topic one way, and another character another way, and another character another way. And you begin to separate out, and then I want you to do something that people tell you not to do, which is judge people. I want you to judge people, and I want you to look at these characters that ends up, these pattern clusters of people and their profiles and their responses that end up morphing into specific characters, and I want you to judge those characters based on how healthy they might be and where they are in their life that would equal their understanding of the issue and their potential fears and justifications that might make them believe or not believe in certain things that you think are true. And what I mean by that is, let's talk about addiction. I will die on the hill that addictions are not chemical and they are not lifelong diseases. I really believe that, because I know firsthand that addictions only develop when you reach for things, because again, addictions aren't just drugs. They're not just cocaine. It's not just alcohol. It's oversleeping. It's eating. It's gambling. It's undereating. It's social validation. You can become addicted to anything. And a real good definition, when you start thinking, okay, so what really is an addiction? An addiction is anything that you do to escape fear or overwhelm that causes negative things in your life. But the tricky part to that is you may not realize it's causing negative things in your life. Quick tangent. When I was an alcoholic, if you would have asked me, is alcohol impacting your life in a negative way? I would have told you no at the time. Now, when I look back at it, I could say absolutely, for many reasons, but I didn't think it at the time. So addiction, the definition is confusing, because when you're in it, you'll disagree with the definition, but when you're out of it, you'll see it for the truth that it is. But my point is, I say something like addictions aren't chemical and they aren't lifelong diseases. They're a product of escaping an internal moment of overwhelm or panic, and the pattern of escaping that moment to a specific avenue continues because you get reinforced by the pleasure or whatever, or even just the escape of that avenue of that addiction. And so you build the feedback loop that when this internal panic arises, you go here because now you're away from this, and that's an addiction. Well, I'll say something like that, and then in the comments, it's very, very contrasty. You get a ton of people who will fucking almost make death threats to you and say, this is wrong, you have no idea what you're talking about, you're fucking racist, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, this is bullshit, no way, blah, blah, blah. But then you go in their profiles and you look and you see, oh, okay, miserable, overweight, clearly still addicted, has very strange opinions about the world, very hateful opinions about the world. You can just see, you're like, this person is clearly miserable. Of course they don't believe that addictions are not chemical or not lifelong diseases. Because if they what am I trying to say? If they believe that addictions aren't those things, that means their current behavior is wrong. Their current orientation, their justification that their addiction is just a disease and they can't overcome it, or it's chemical and so they must treat it through meds and these kind of things, instead of looking at the real source trauma that is causing these internal feelings that drive them to the addictions. Of course they don't believe what I'm saying is true, because if they did believe it, that means that they have to look at these things they're refusing to look at. And then you go in even further in the comments, and the people that might agree, you look at their pages, what are they? Probably into fitness, probably, trying to promote a positive message, probably doing really cool, amazing things in their community. Maybe not, but as a general rule, probably. And so you start to look at, the people that say the things to the concepts, and you go, okay, where's the truth here? And that's, again, truth is... I'm not going to get into what I think about truth, because that would be a different video, but you can begin to see, the patterns. And that's how it was helpful for me to find the truth, or what I thought was the truth, for a bunch of different issues, even outside of addiction. Especially before I knew a lot of the stuff that I knew now. I would look up, this concept. Start reading the comments. Don't even worry what the post says. Read the comments. Separate the responses and the profiles into their respective characters. Okay, which character do I want to be more like? Because sometimes it's not even about finding the truth. It's about becoming a certain kind of person that you want to be. And sometimes that means, trying to figure out why it is that the kind of person you want to be, who there are probably examples of already in the world, look at the world or act a certain way that maybe you don't understand yet. And so you have to adopt this and just understand that the pattern is that this kind of person believes this kind of thing. Maybe you don't believe that right now, but maybe there's something to that. Not always, but maybe there's something to that. And so exploring a new perspective oftentimes leads you into that person that you want to be. But it's about finding the patterns. And it's very easy to get lost on social media, because the other thing that sucks about the internet is that the most unhealthy people are the loudest and the most prevalent. So if you start looking in the comments, you would start to think that the majority of people believe certain things. But that's not true. It's like, I don't know, again, take this with a grain of salt if you want. I don't think I've ever commented on a social media post. I don't know anybody that comments. I've never seen a friend of mine or somebody that I even follow comment on another post, unless it was like, a photography post and someone's like, cool shots, or, like a compliment or something. I've literally, I don't know anybody that spews hate or negativity on the internet. I don't know those people. And I've looked for them, and I try to figure out, is it just me noticing that I don't know anybody that does this, or is it just that there's a legion of miserable people that are, who knows where they are, that just spout all this hate on the internet? And I think that's true. And so when you go through these issues, it can be easy to get lost in the noise and think, oh, these people, they say this thing, and nobody believes in this, this is controversial. Maybe it's not controversial. Maybe just people that don't want to look the truth in the face, because it'll make them realize that they're living their life from a place of fear. Those are the people that are the loudest. So find the patterns. Look, I'm telling you, Reddit is your fucking best friend. And even social media. It sounds ridiculous to say. Again, separate who says what, not just what's being said. Who says it? And then figure out who you want to be like. You want to be like this person with this profile? That means you accept their belief, or you be like this person with this type of person with this profile. You know what I mean? Judge people. Don't judge them and hate them, but judge them as healthy or not, and try to figure out where they might be in the world as far as their understanding of how what their relationship is to fear. It all comes down to people's relationship with fear. If you can figure out what somebody's relationship to fear is, then you can usually figure out why they say or believe the things that they do. And then from there, critically think and wonder, if somebody's truly afraid of looking at themselves in the mirror and they say this and I disagree with that, does that mean they're right? It doesn't mean anybody's right, but it probably means that they're less right than you. I don't know. But it's just like, find patterns. Patterns are key in recovery because the truth is hard to find in simple sentences, but it's very obvious when you start looking at social patterns. Okay? It's like, you don't have to agree with what somebody says, but the general, approach to certain topics separates into patterns of certain types of people. You have to pick which one you want to be like, and then, try to figure out if their worldview can match yours, or you can fit into theirs, or you can take what you like from there. It's pretty obvious once you start looking at the profiles of what people say.